The city of Lagos waits a dog as all routes
Be the first to know. From the north, south, east, west and around Africa, we break the news.
One Nigeria.
Now you can catch all the actions live as the news breaks. We are CORETV News.
Welcome to CORETV,
a 24-hour news station.
Thanks for joining us again on the concluding part of Core Digest this Saturday. 2015 elections, the 10th Jonathan campaign and Electoral Act. That's exactly is our discussion on the show today. A big thank you to Olabode Osenie. Thank you for staying the course on the show this Saturday. Some have said that possibly because APC does not have an individual candidate yet. That's why there's this much contest and, controversies and allegations as regards what these groups are doing for Jonathan. How do you react to that?
That could be possible. I mean, most of the time when you hear a rumor can be made to be real. So it's very difficult for you and I to know what is going on in the minds of the big wigs of APC. And that's why I was saying in the first segment that there's plenty time. Even though you might think it's another how many more months to go into campaigning and so, but they could do 3 C's: calm down, cool, collected, please. And every time I notice that the problem here is just problem of just only want to grab power. So when you ask me the question about zoning, and I said to you, if only we agree among ourselves, Nigerians, the electorates are educated, are enlightened, are informed, to a point that they can choose that it is going to be election of people we know or somebody I know that is going to represent me, either from the local government level to state and then federal and Senate. We probably will be talking something different from here. Yeah, there's no perfect human being. Do not misunderstand me. So the point I'm making is there's plenty of time. As the major business was going on, there should also be committee, commission, different kind of area that APC should have put in place.
Do you really see any difference between what happened with the Kano State Governor, Kwankwaso, I believe, where certain members of the House of Assembly came out to ask him to contest for presidency? Of course, another group came up in the South too, supporting Atiku. Is there any difference between that and what's happening for the president now as we speak?
There's no difference. There's no difference in the sense that at first I said, if all these are done within the parameters set out by INEC, you can be doing all that without getting to press. Because if INEC, I'm sorry, and this has not been a direct criticism, if INEC were to be doing their job, they should be making so much money for Nigerians or for Nigeria. You know why? Because in that set of act, it is clearly stated that once you are caught breaking the law, there'll be a fine of 500,000. You understand me? So there's so many arrests they could have used the authority to put, and then they could have making so much money. Now that might be a little bit not too strong, but the point I'm trying to make here is this: all this arrangement can be done behind the collision, behind the closed doors. It is not very unusual that in London, as we speak, there is a situation where David Cameron, who is the leader of the Conservatives, having problem to assert with the mayor of London, or maybe there's another uprising star, or some a situation like with the Labour Party that Ed Miliband is the leader. But if anything were to go wrong tomorrow, and I have made the forecast that if anything goes wrong with the Labour Party tomorrow, the world will be shocked to find that we might have a black British prime minister. So it's not going to happen. I say, well, People see that in 10 years ago. 10 years ago, today we have an American president who is a black extraction, yeah, a black man. So the thing is, joking, you understand me? Here and there is part of the politics, part of the game. But do not do it to flout. I'm more particular here on this program that we should not be breaking the law. The laws of this country is sacrosanct, is so important that, because it's the only way we can get things done. If the laws are respected in this country, it's the only way we can get things done. It is the only time that you will not be able to take advantage of the vulnerable, the disabled, the so on and so forth, take advantage of them, either because you are given the responsibility to perform, to do one or two things. Because when you know when you break the law, when you know when you break the law, nothing's going to happen to you because of the godfather, because of the connection and so on and so forth. People go ahead to comply. So the issue of this particular section of faction, what article to be this and that, there's nothing wrong in it.
It's all right. The phone line is on the screen for you to participate as we discuss 2015 elections. Of course, groups springing up to solicit support. Of course, gatherings now looking more like campaign gatherings in support for one political aspirant or the other. We'd love to hear from you when you're calling, and David, to turn down the volume of your TV set. Let's keep the conversation on the phone so we can do without the unnecessary delays and the feedback distortion. Well, moving on now, let's just look at the chances of the opposition come 2015. There are a lot of talks as regards the multiplicity of interests in the APC as we speak. There is Buhari, there is Atiku, there is quite a number of other people. How do you see, what does this portend for the might of the opposition in 2015?
It's not looking, it's, to me, I mean, again, as analysts or whatever, I would think APC need to get their acts together. And I believe from experience, they can still do it. They can still do it in the sense that if they genuinely sit down, like I said, the 3 C's, calm down, cool and collected, and face the issues that are before them. Because the issue before them is not the issue of are they going to agree or not to agree. Because if they're not going to agree and come up with a credible flag bearer, I'm not going to waste my vote.
We have a caller from Sangwater. Good morning, Godwin. How are you today?
Hello, sir.
Good morning, Godwin.
Yeah. Please, I want to ask, this transformation ambassador of Nigeria, now if they are even acting against the electoral law, why can't everybody take them to court to stop them?
Why can't
That's
who?
my question, sir.
Okay. He's asking why no one is taking time to court. I think we got that, Godwin. Thank you for your contribution. Possibly he is asking why nobody is taking a legal action against all these groups springing up.
Wonderful observation. Fantastic. And I also included that at the opening speech. That because we allow the certain things to happen to go unchallenged. I would have think this is the best time for people who have the resources. Again, because everything costs money here. It might be very difficult for you and I, or for people, I mean, who believe that this is, you are breaking the law on behalf of the president. The president has said many times, I am not ready to say yes or no. Leave me alone. But people still go ahead, they still forge ahead, they still go ahead and do everything. And some of even the people who supposed to know better are the ones that are carrying the banners. But again, 1 or 2 people who may be able to have the resources could go to court and say, you know what, this is not in our constitution, this is not in INEC. And again, the question now again, what is INEC doing about this? Because I believe this is not a personal criticism. The section is clear that you cannot.
Just a minute, we have another caller from Ilori. Hello, Georgie. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Go ahead with your contribution, please.
Please, my contribution and my admiration is that this town speaking for Nigeria. I feel they should speak for themselves and not Nigeria. And for the Secretary of the Federation, being part of it, it has shown clearly that this all are doing, they're using the taxpayers' money to do this campaign. It is serious misinformation, threat to our democracy. At this time of the year, I think it's too early for the government of this country, who is the custodian of our law, to be part of campaign when the time of campaign has not tried. I believe that they will be hearing us on this thing. They should please try and do what is just so that and respect other people or the opposition will respect the law. If the sitting government are not respecting the law put in place, it is so clear that anybody can flout the law because they are the ones breaking the law first. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jaji. Quote us from Ilori. But let's look beyond, calling Tan and the leadership. The fact that something has been done which is perceived to be against the law, and nobody or no system or no organization is doing anything about it. What does that portend for the Nigerian nation?
Again, not very good. Because the question I'm going to ask is, where are the pressure groups? Where are the pressure groups? Are also the pressure groups leaders and people who are supposed to take action to stand up for the masses? Where are they? Because like I said, cleverly, the president is saying, you know what, I am not going to say yes or no until when the gate of who wants to be what is opened. But now we, at the same time, seeing what is going on. And all what it takes is one or two people who are supposed to be a leader of the good governance, this and that, so many NGOs, so many pressure groups, to stand up and say, this has to be arrested. Like I said to you, an average American can arrest anybody. I'm sure that kind of law we also have here. You can arrest a policeman, you can arrest a legislator, you understand me? But because of the fear, because of the so perpetual, the permanent fear that is in all of us, that's why we are allowed. And people say that the worst crime anybody can commit is when you sit down to allow evils, you understand me, to be perpetuated. You see that what your neighbor or what other people are doing is wrong, and you didn't say anything. It's even more worse than, the person doing it.
That's all right. As we count down to 2015, of course, we discussed earlier in the week the preparation of INEC, the ongoing continuous voters registration, the new permanent cards that are being, voters cards that are being given out. How prepared would you say the electorate are as we count down to the elections in 2015?
Thank you. I've been asked numerous times, many times on how do I see the operations of INEC, how far have they fared well, have they done well? Even though the two last elections were supported by militarization of so and so on, but with the bigger one is what we are yet to experience, and that is the 2015.
Yeah.
What the preparation so far? To me, as just an ordinary observer, I would say, well, so far the exercise of getting prepared, I don't know why that should be any problem for INEC. And I said this, and I also said on a program in the UK, that I cannot see why INEC should be suffering from any problem. Because I know money is not all, but that is only valid for individuals. Money is a lot, means a lot. Resources means a lot for organizations like INEC, because they have all the resources to conduct a free and fair election without any problem. And they have all the time. And I've said this many times on different television channels, and I'm repeating it again. INEC has all the resources they need to conduct a free and fair election, and they can also ask for more to the money that can be pumped into educating, to enlighten the public, because they are the one we are talking about. These are the people that are going to vote. These are the people that are going to say, I put my vote for this, ABCD, and I want my vote to count. It is in the hand of INEC. And also, at the same time, I believe that the political parties, instead of bickering or fighting among themselves, who is going to get this, who is going to get that, they should be able to, they should remember that when power gets to their hand, then they can choose who gets what. But in the process of fighting themselves, what you're going to find out is the other party is showing a sign of unity, creating more awareness, getting more people to come to their rallies. When that starts, that should be a sign of it's not working for one party, it's working for another party.
Okay, so, just we have another caller. Rotimi is calling from a court in Lagos.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning. My name is Rotimi. I'm calling from the court.
Good morning.
Please go ahead with your contribution.
I've said it times without number that INEC can't be independent in Nigeria. The word in our politics, there's no way INEC can be independent because the word INEC, the word I that is just an acronym. He who pay the piper dictates the tune. As long as it is the federal government that appoints INEC, there's no way they will not be favorable to the person that appointed them there. Me and you are not the one that elected INEC to that place. It was the federal government that appointed them. And they had to pay their master. We said this when they were tracking military that was supposed to be defending the territory of Nigeria, Sekiti, and Osun State to monitor elections. Where is it done in the modern day in the whole world? Where is it done? There's no way they will not be partial. We were shouting, they were that party, we were shouting here, we were making noise, we were doing all that. Where was the guardian? What did he do to arrest the situation? It is only in Nigeria that has seen a sitting minister of defense, going to monitor an election, leading military to monitor an election. Where is it done in the world? INEC can never be independent. Let's just not plug this issue. There's nothing like obedience to law in Nigeria as far as that's to do with federal government. They are the one that is in control. So whoever is in control, we are just in civilian rule, not in the democracy.
It's all right, Rotimi. Thank you for your contribution. I think you made your point there. Good to hear from you. Would you agree that the independence of INEC is truly contestable?
From one look of things, and from what we have seen in the past elections or in the history of the body that's supposed to conduct elections, they have always been favorable to either a ruling party or to a particular whatever. But again,
is that true of recent elections that we had, especially the Osun election, where the opposition won?
Well, at least the one of Osun, we can talk that those two elections that have concluded now. Unless otherwise, there is a reason for the losing party to say, well, we lost based on it was rigged. If we don't have that yet, that should be a plus that at least the elections were conducted to the satisfaction of the people. At least for now, Osun, and also the one before Osun, Ekiti. So as long as there's no complaint, so that means the people are freely spoken. Their votes are counted. You know? But let me quickly take on the last caller. Okay. I think he said it. But it is again unfortunate. The common adage that he who pays the piper dictates the tune. It's unfortunately so. That was in how many hundreds of years ago, where soldiers were what they did. But the issue today is it's not supposed to be like that again. And I've just given you an example of what is possible in America. Even though the president of America will appoint the Supreme Judge, the judges, and also appoint most of his executives, but at the same time, A typical example is the CIA, CIA, and the other organization, the SS, FBI, and also the Office of the Attorney General. All these offices can arrest, can detain the president of the person who appointed them. We are here to have things like that. But how do we solve that? The best way to solve problems like this is the education of people like the last caller, myself and yourself, and many other people. And how do we access that? How do we do that? By getting our rep, tell them that laws like this has to change. And my suggestion again is this: it has to be, it got to get to a point that people who is going to lead the body that will conduct elections has to be independent. How do we make independent? It should not be appointed by anybody. Once we get independent, the body that will conduct elections, independent, then we're on our way. Right. Because as it is now, it has been seen that every time either it's misunderstanding or they are taking advantage of the masses who do not know what they are doing or who do not understand what exactly it's all about. So I do not know why a police or why a military or why a DSS or why a INEC man should be favoring either anybody. They are being paid from the public, from the people's money, and they should be serving the ordinary people.
It's all right. We're just going to take one or two more calls if we can before we wrap up the show. But I want us to touch on the system. Would you say Nigeria really has that system that affords the average electorate to decide or to make an informed decision as regards who to vote for? An example is the presidential debate, as it is in other climes, where people who want to become presidents or governors will come on live television to articulate their dreams and their plans for Nigeria. The last gubernatorial election we had in Osho, only the incumbent governor was there. In the last presidential elections we have in Nigeria, we have not seen much of success in that area. Should it be legalized? Should it be passed into law? What can be done to ensure that we have a system that we afford an electorate the opportunity to decide well?
Well, if part of it, I mean, if the making the candidates, the decided upon elected candidates of individual parties have to participate. You just said it. If it has to be enacted, it has to be enshrined in our constitution, because we cannot afford to have any elected person to take advantage of the people he wants to take power from. So what am I saying? I'm now saying that there must be a presidential debate where observers, where people, the people of this country who want to vote for them should be able to listen to what they have to offer. You understand me? You cannot just make it like I can choose to go and I can choose not to go. So I agree with you. If that has to be put in the constitution and say, you know what, Mr. Osenie, if you want to be chairman of this, you must attend. If you do not attend, you disqualify yourself. I agree with that.
Thank you very much. Olabode Osenie is a veteran political affairs analyst, and he joined us on Core Digest this Saturday. Good to have you again, sir.
Thank you very much for having me.
That wraps it this Saturday on Core Digest. I am Nifebi Oguntoye. 2015 is just around the corner. Now, you and I really do have to take that giant stride to engage ourselves actively in the politics of Nigeria. Now, it means you must be informed, you must be involved, because we can't wait. I mean, sit on our oars and just watch things happen. You and I are about to rewrite the history of this nation, and that indeed is a glorious moment for us. We'll come back again, God willing, tomorrow. Core Digest will be coming up at 12 p.m. on Sunday. I'm Nifemi Okuntoye. Thanks for being there.
Nigerians continue to
Tonight, the city of Lagos waits at the dog as all routes. Be the first to know.
CORETV News.
From the north, south, east, west, and around Africa, we break the news.
We are one Nigeria.
Now you can catch all the actions live as the news spreads. We are CORETV News.
Welcome to CORETV.
Our 24-hour news station.